Hi, everybody. This is so exciting. I had a wonderful topic for today, and then I coached a wonderful gentleman named Matt, and I realized this is a more timely topic. So we're going to change up topics today because we're trying to teach you guys how to do something in real estate at a much higher level to get a better return. You guys okay with that? So we're going to talk about how to hold the best open house ever. Now, some of you are going to hang up because you never held a house open. And I'm urging you to stay on because nobody hates an open house more than this guy. I would rather have my feet scraped than put my butt in a house on a Sunday from 1 to 4. However, I hold an open house to get listings and I hold an open house to double end the property. So let's talk about an open house. There's a couple rules. If you're going to hold a house open, it has to be relatively new to the market. A day, a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. You're holding something open 4, 5, 6 weeks into it, you're getting laughed at by the neighbors. It's a desperate attempt to try to get it sold. So let's agree that if we're going to hold something open, we're going to make money at it. So let's hold something that's new to the market, something where the excitement in the neighborhood hasn't really kicked in, but through your efforts, you're going to make that open house the star of the show. Number 2, it has to be priced so it's going to sell. It doesn't do us any good for our reputation to hold a house open on Sunday 1 to 4, and 6 weeks later, there's no sold sign. The neighborhood thinks we're idiots. Number 3, the seller cannot be there. They cannot be there. They cannot be there when I show up at 12:30, and they can't come back to the open house when I'm leaving at 4:15. If the seller is there, it's awful. Next, you need to put up, and this will scare some of you, 40 to 50 signs. So, John, can we talk for the whole group? Because you're in my top left-hand corner. You look real powerful. John Gray, can we talk? Take us off
Sure.
mute, John.
Yep. Sorry about that, Steve.
No worries, John. So tell everybody where you are so they can send you all their great referrals.
North of Boston along the coast.
Nice. What town?
I'm currently in an office in Hamilton, which is kind of horse country.
I know where it is. I grew up in Amherst. I went to
Oh,
UMass.
sure. Amherst. Yep.
Yep. So John, why do I want 30, 40, 50 open house signs?
Best visibility for everyone driving around looking in neighborhoods.
Think about it, John. So here's what an average stupid realtor does. They go down the end of the road, they stop their car guys, then they put an open house sign next to the stop sign. Car is here, traffic is coming from this direction, the stop sign's behind the open house sign's behind the car. Every time there's a car at the stop sign, nobody can see the house. 4 on every corner, next to the stop sign, the other side, and 2 across the street. Now, for some of you, it's not possible. I'm telling you how to have the ideal open house. So, John, could you give us a name of a subdivision in your area?
Yep. Sorry, I didn't know you were coming back to me. Let's call it Hawthorne Way.
Did they have an entry at Snotty Ass Hawthorne Way? Because it sounds really snotty and nice at the same time.
Well, our average sale price is $750,000. So you all
I'm
can
loving
decide.
that. So sometimes at the Snotty Ass entrances, you can't put anything at the entrance, so you have to go across the street. But I'm going to make sure that I put 1 at the stop sign at the front, 1 on the other side of the island, and 2 across the street. Now, John, I don't know your neighborhood, but I just imagine it's got a beautiful entry with the name on it, so everybody feels really intelligent in that area. And Kelly Nichols, who's one of my favorite people in the world, I used to live in a subdivision, stupid name, called Running Man. was built in the 80s when running was real popular. And all the street names are after Native American Indians like Kanawha and Chinatuck. And these were all Indians. And it was kind of ironic because it's called Running Man. And these are Indians who ran and we caught them, so we know their name. Now, Running Man went into Big Bethel, and Big Bethel went two ways to 134, which is a 10,000 car a day multi-lane road, and to Victory, which is a 10,000 car a day two-lane road to another city. So, John, I'd put up the 4 signs at the entry to Running Man, but then I'd go to the end of Big Bethel and put up 6 on the divided highway, and I put 4 more on Victory. Oh, and Running Man went through this wonderful subdivision and ended on Victory. So I put 4 more on that subdivision. And a house on Moyock. Well, I put 4 on the end of Moyock, but Moyock went to Kanawha. So I had to put 3 on the end of Kanawha, and Kanawha went to Running Man. You see where I'm talking about 40 signs, guys? I want anybody who's driving through anywhere within 2 miles of the subdivision to see the name John Gray. Because open houses are impulse stops. 80% of the people stop there because they saw the sign. They're on their way to church, they're on their way to dinner, they're on their way to somewhere. Let's kill 15 minutes and stop in. And don't put up 2 signs and think you're going to get a bunch of people there. Now, John, if you were to put up 40 open house signs at strategic intersections up to 3 miles away, does it really matter?
No, I don't think so. It makes a
And
huge
what
difference.
name did 30,000 people see on a Sunday, John?
Well, that would be mine.
And they think you're the best agent in the world. And the seller can't say that you didn't try to get people to their house. So, John, how long you been in real estate?
17 years.
Congratulations. You ever drive by a realtor's open house where they have 2 balloons hanging on it, but they couldn't afford the helium, so they're just hanging? Well, doesn't that look
We're too
impressive,
lazy
huh?
to do the balloons.
Yeah. And the funny part is they put a little open house sign in front of the house, and anybody who parks in front of the house, you don't see the sign, do you, John?
Nope.
I'm not endorsing any company, so it doesn't matter. You should go to Google. You should look up for sale and real estate flags. You should have an 8-foot flag. Now, John, in new construction in your area, do the new construction sites have those big flags? Well,
Absolutely
you
do.
can get an 8-foot flag, guys, that breaks down into a nice little package. And instead of saying open house, it's John Gray's open house. Because I want everybody in the neighborhood who drive by goes, hey, that's that guy John Gray again. Because 99% of the cars are not going to stop. But if John's got the 2 little balloons hanging like they need Viagra and the sign can't be seen, nobody knows who John Gray is. I'm going to tell the world John Gray is working this neighborhood, right, Johnny?
Absolutely.
Now, those signs are about $200 a piece, but they're reusable over and over again, aren't they? Next, I recommend you get corrugated signs, the corrugated cardboard with the H wires. Because if you use those A-frames, which are about 8 pounds a piece, try to put 40 of those in your car. And you're going to lose some signs, guys. It's just dead loss. It's part of the business. Now,
People steal it.
yeah, they do. They relocate it. You're so popular, Al, they want to have your name in their yard. But really, what happens is every now and then, and it doesn't happen in Boston because everybody's so nice in Boston. They don't like your sign on their corner, even though they don't own the corner because the stop sign's there. But because they mow it, they take your little H-wire sign, throw it in the street, which is much better than they take the A-frame and throw it through their lawnmower and say, your sign blew into my lawnmower, you owe me a new lawnmower. So I use the H-wire. Now, you guys know what I'm talking about, those like 2x3 corrugated signs that are kind of wimpy. But John, rather than buy a standard one that says open house, what you should put is John Gray's open house. And whose name is real big on the top of that wonderful sign, John Gray?
Oh, I bet it's going to be mine.
Yeah, because you'd be stupid to put my name on it because I don't live there. If you want to, go ahead. But you see the publicity, John? You're speaking for the entire group today. Do you see the publicity you'll have from an open house with your name on top of that sign?
Yeah, makes total sense.
Now, John, what company do you work for?
I own J. Barrett and Company, independent.
Nice. Nice. So because you own the company, Jay Barrett could be on there because you own it. But you should probably put your name on it as well, because as much as I want them to call Jay Barrett, I'd rather have them call who?
Me.
Because that's who they're going to list with. Because the people in the neighborhood are going, God, that John Gray is everywhere. Name recognition, guys, is the cheapest one we have. But again, going back to the beginning of this call, if you have a listing that isn't saleable and you are stupid enough to hold it open, all you're saying is, hey, don't hire me. I can't get the job done. Who wants that kind of publicity? So, John, we're going to test you because the whole group is happy you're in my top left-hand corner.
Thanks, Steve.
How long is it going to take for you to map out where all the places you can put your 40 signs? And then how long will it take you to actually put them out?
I would say between 20 and 30 minutes. And the map out, I'm going to know the neighborhood anyways, because I have a listing there, but probably, a good 20 minutes to put all the little pointers and open house signs out.
And what time of the day will you do this?
I would do it probably that morning of, a few hours before the open house or the day before for some of them, so they don't get swiped.
Yeah. So, John, you're really close. I'm going to just fine tune it. If you try to do it at 10 or 11, you won't get them out. There's too much traffic. You can't stop at a stop sign and then go around all four corners because somebody in Boston is going to be behind you beeping their horn going, hey. Okay. Trying to get to Dunkin'. Get out of the way. Boston people love Dunkin' Donuts. They have the best donuts ever. Actually, the best Dunkin' Donuts is in Brattleboro, Vermont. We go to New Hampshire quite often. We always stop there. They're like the best. So, John, we set them up. Look at my hand. What time in the morning do you think we put them up at 5 a.m.?
No, 5 a.m. Okay.
Because there's zero traffic, right? I pull up to a stop sign, put on my blinkers. I can spend the 2 minutes putting up my signs, and people will go around not mad at me. The highway's not busy. Victoria's not busy. 134 Hampton Highway's not busy. Nobody's mad that I'm blocking traffic at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then again, anybody who's going to Dunkin' at 7 to go get their coffee, anybody who's going to the church, they're going to see your signs, John. So if you're waiting till 10 or 11, you're missing that morning rush of everybody seeing whose name on the open house sign, John.
Yeah, mine.
5 in the morning, or we do sometimes at 9 o'clock at night. Because I want to do it at a time. I don't want the neighbors at 10 o'clock who are out cutting their grass. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? No, don't put that there. I want them to wake up going, the heck is he doing out there? But they're too lazy. They're not going to walk out and take it out. I want a full day of signs. So we take them down, depending on the time of the year, 8 o'clock at night or 5 in Monday morning. I want a full scale of publicity. Does that make sense, guys? I have a great listing at a great price. I'm proud of it. It's going to have a John Gray sold sign in 10 to 14 days. The neighborhood's going to know that John Gray knows what he's doing. So let's promote the crap out of it, yeah? So the week prior to your open house, John, should you call or door knock all the neighbors?
Absolutely.
And then when they talk to you over the phone or they talk to you face to face, then on Sunday, hey, honey, wasn't that it? Isn't that idiot that came by our house on Tuesday? Yeah. Remember, John, the seller's going to meet with 3 idiots. We just got to be the best idiot. John, you ever seen that movie Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
Classic line, and I'm going to do a terrible English accent. The officer says to the Johnny Depp character, "You are quite possibly the worst pirate I've ever heard of." Ah, but you have heard of me. So for the week prior to your open house, guys, call, door knock, do a postcard. Let the neighbors know that you're holding their neighbor's house open and you invite them to come pick their next neighbor. Now, John, it's important that you use your sellers' names. Make it personal, guys. Name is John Gray. I'm a real estate agent with Barrett Realty. The Bob and Mary Thompson have hired us to sell their home on Glendale. Did you see our for sale sign? No. Well, Bob and Mary want me to ask you if you'd be willing to come by on Sunday, see what they're offering. Maybe you can pick your next neighbor. Will you be able to come by on Sunday and see what we're offering? Now, John, is that a pretty good script?
That's a great script.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. I'm trying to be
Excellent
humble.
stuff.
It is. It's a great script. Because I'm using my client's name. I'm showing familiarity. The Thompsons, I'm here on behalf of Bob and Mary to offer you to come. Will you be able to come? And maybe that's better than no. And John, you look really intelligent. After
Yeah.
I invite them to the open house, what's my next move?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, Steve, what you're thinking.
Chris Gangone, what's my next move?
Your next move is to say, are you guys planning on making a move anytime soon?
Now that you know the Thompsons have hired me in your neighborhood, how can we help you with your real estate needs this year? See, I changed it from I'm asking you to come to my open house so I can have people there to I'm making it a just sold, just listed door knock, aren't I, John?
Yep, makes sense.
So, John, in this wonderful kind of snotty ass neighborhood where it's so snotty that when it rains, half the people drowned, I'm making it up, but it just sounds like that kind of neighborhood. How often do people move?
We're kind of interesting up here, every 3 to 5 years.
Let's go with 5. It's metrically simple to do the math. Every 5th door you door knock on, John, that person won't be there next February. I'm not really there to get them to come to that open house. That's just the present to get the date for a listing appointment. I'm going there to find the 1 in 5 that are looking to sell in 2024. And because, John, you have cred, and why do you have cred?
So I've got that listing down the street.
And my neighbors are smart. I'm smart. If they hire John Gray, I should hire John Gray. See, guys, this is not as complicated as we think. It's just work. But I got to get my butt out of the office and outdoor knocking, because on any particular street in Massachusetts where there's 20 houses, 5 will pick up and 15 won't. Fair statement, John?
Absolutely. Yep.
Who's talking to those other 15, John?
Probably no one.
So,
Hopefully
John,
just me.
could you hold up your left hand? There you go. I see a ring on your hand. What's that joint right above that ring? What's that called?
My knuckle?
That's it. Do you know you have magic knuckles? Because when you do this on a door, people magically appear.
That's cute.
It is cute. My best trait. That and gray hair cleavage. I do those 2 things, I get hired. So understand, John, speaking for the group, if I only call the neighborhood, I'm going to talk to 10, 20%, but I'm also talking to the 10, 20% that all the other realtors have called. It's in the door knocking that I'm talking to 75% that nobody's talking to. Let me be clear. I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but if I'm the only guy on All Girl Island, it's going to be a good day. By door knocking, I'm adding people to my sphere. I'm finding people who want to move, but I'm also pushing the John Gray name to know people that no one else is talking to, right, John?
Correct.
And can you collect those phone numbers from the people you meet face to face? And what would happen to your database of phone numbers you're now allowed to call that nobody else is calling, John Gray?
Gonna grow it big.
This is a big picture thing, guys. I'm going to call, I'm going to door knock, I'm going to send postcards. So let's talk about the open house. I recommend you do 1 to 4, do the normal hours that people hold it open. Again, if you want to hold it open from noon to 6, because I like to give everybody time to get there, you're not being real smart with your time. If they really want to buy the house, they'll be there 1 to 4. And the ones who really want to buy will be there at 11:45 or 1:15.
Yeah.
And we've all been there where I'm putting up the flag. Hi, can we go in the house now? I'm like, are you qualified? You got a pre-qualification letter? We're paying cash. Yeah, let's go. I have the thing sold before 1 o'clock because the people who really want to buy it will line up early. If they don't want to buy it, being open till 6 isn't going to do any good. I'm doing all the promo prior to the open house to push the John Gray name or whatever name you want to use, because you probably don't want to put John Gray's name on your signs. So, John, would it be fair to say that your seller has a camera in the house?
More than likely.
So you better be prepared, guys. The days of where I could put my feet up on the chair, change their channels, watch sports, grab the last 3 Oreos so they didn't see me eating their Oreos and maybe water down their vodka, those days are gone. I got to be a little more professional now because of that camera, right, John?
Absolutely.
I'm kidding about the vodka. I drink gin, okay? But understand, the seller is watching you in that house. So, John, do you have a great script when somebody comes knocking on that front door?
I do.
Let me hear it, John. My wife, and I'll make it Kelly because I love Kelly to death. I used to work with Kelly up in Virginia. I'm Steve. This is my wife, Kelly. You don't know that yet because we're knocking on the door. So we knock on the door. Let me hear the speech you're going to use, John Gray. Ding dong.
Ding dong. Hi, guys. It's John Gray. I'm here representing this house today on behalf of, I can't remember the name of the sellers, but.
Make it up. I don't care.
Yep. Sue and Jim. And they're happy to have you here. You looking to move recently, or do you have a home to sell?
All of that was very nice, John. And I know I put you on the spot. So overall, I'll give you a B+. And you did a good job. But you hardly let me talk at all. And if I remember correctly, we didn't say a darn word, did we?
No, you didn't.
So all you're doing is telling. I don't see a lot of selling. So, John, again, now that you've relaxed, let's do it again. And ding dong.
Hey, folks, welcome to the house.
No, ready? Not hey. Hey is what you and I say each other in the men's locker room, tilting our head back so we don't look at each other's Mr. Happy. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the house. I'm glad to have you here. Are you looking to move into the neighborhood?
Okay, so again, you're on your spot. So you started out so strong in the first one because what you did, John, whether you do it instinctually or you know how to do it, everyone listened to what he said the first time. He named the owners of the home, which shows familiarity, neighborhood. So you did that so smart. Good afternoon, John Gray, Barrett Real Estate. How are you folks today? So ready? John and you and Kelly are married. Good afternoon, folks. Steve Powers, eXp Real Estate. How are you today?
We're great.
Why don't you guys come on in? On behalf of Bob and Mary Thompson, thank you for visiting their home today. The Thompsons would like you to know that this home has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. It's 2,700 square feet. Oh, I apologize. My name is Steve Powers, and your name is?
John and my wife, Kelly.
May I call you John and Kelly?
Sure.
John, Kelly, call me Steve. So John and Kelly, thanks for coming. This house has, you see how many times I use their name there, John? I got permission to use their first name. Now, Kelly, you know my wife, yes? My wife is a wonderful person. Mm-hmm. And she hates salespeople. Doesn't hate me, but she hates salespeople. And she has a very nice diamond ring. And when a salesperson isn't making her happy, she'll turn that diamond ring down, she'll squeeze my hand. And that means she don't like this person, get out of here. If the ring is up, she's okay. That's our little way of telling me, I want to buy it for me, or I don't want to buy it, and I take the hits because I'm a good husband. My wife's name is Bernadette. You start calling her Bernadette right off the get-go without her permission, that ring is going down, Johnny, because you didn't have permission to call her by her first name, huh? And by asking permission to use their first name, number one, is it polite? What's the answer, John? Because you're still on point here.
Yes, it's polite, Steve.
May I call you Bernadette? She'll say yes. Well, Bernadette, please call me John. So Steve, Bernadette, I've used her name 3 times in what, 15 seconds? You see how we're becoming a little closer, John? It's not a salesperson. It's a quick way to establish rapport. And I use the owner's name on behalf of Bob and Mary Thompson's because you remember they got a camera and it's always facing that front foyer, isn't it, John?
It is.
And they're listening to how you're promoting their house. And when you go in, thanks for coming. Which house in the neighborhood do you own? Do you want to sell it? They're like, hey, you're supposed to be selling my house. Try to push the house, then go with a listing. Because the guy or gal watching on the camera is the one writing our check. We're on a job interview, yes? So work on your pitch, on your opening pitch. And I joke, John, because in some parts of the country, hey is acceptable, but honestly, hey is just not very professional. You say hey to my wife, she's done with you. And she's not a prim and proper woman. She's married to me. How much proper can she be? But she doesn't like salespeople who get all swarmy. Hi, your name is Bernadette Powers. Bernadette. Bernadette. She's like, I don't know you, and you're acting like we're asshole buddies from third grade. People are turned off by that because you're turning on that realtor charm. Describe the house. Now, I prefer they walk around the house without me because that way I can meet the next person, the next person, the next person. Do you have a sign-up sheet you put in your open house, John?
I do.
So describe how you want me to sign the open house sheet.
Steve, if you could be so kind as to leave your name and phone number so that I can touch base with you and answer any follow-up questions you may have.
You're doing a great job to use the word I, because then you made it about you. So I can touch base with you and answer any questions. You got to keep it about the customer. The Thompsons request that you'd be kind enough, would you please sign their open house sheet so they know which neighbors visited? You don't need to tell them what you're going to do with that information, yeah?
Okay.
Again, it's try to keep the words I out of it. You're being watched by the Thompsons. So Kelly and I are back to being married. You're the realtor again, John, so we're going to quick the role play again. So Kelly and I come downstairs and we're holding hands. What does that tell you?
Well, hopefully the ring hasn't been turned.
Yeah, you would notice that anyway.
Yeah.
It's funny too.
So
But
Kelly,
we come
Kelly,
down and we're giddy and we're holding hands.
Yeah.
It means we fooled around in the master bedroom closet. No, it means we like the house, right?
Yeah. So Kelly and Steve, can I answer any questions? And also the Thompsons had asked if I could get everyone and all the neighbors to sign in on the sign-in sheet so they know who came through their house this afternoon.
Well, so far, you're doing an okay job, but I'll make you a lot better.
Great.
After they tour the whole house, and Kelly and I, she's got that big smile on her face, and she's stroking the granite on the island, going, this is going to be such a wonderful place to have Thanksgiving with our family. All the body clues are we want to buy it, yes? Ask them to buy the damn house. Don't beat around the bush, guys. Kelly's got a big smile on her face, and she is, oh, I love this granite. Oh my gosh, Steve, we could have the tree over there and on Thanksgiving. Dude, we're moving in. So John, repeat after me. Steve and Kelly.
Steve and Kelly.
This house is for sale.
So this house is for sale.
Now you added the word so. Why did you add a piece of word I didn't have on there? This house is for sale.
This house is for sale.
Would you like to?
Would you like to?
Buy it today.
Buy it today.
Steve and Kelly, this house is for sale. Would you like to buy it today? And nod your head. And the Thompsons who are watching you know they hired the right guy, don't they, John?
They do.
Because an average pissant realtor goes, what'd you think? Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you don't like. You know, we have other houses for sale. Meanwhile, the seller's like, are you going to ask him to buy my house? Because isn't that what they paid us for, John?
It is.
Now, John, in your wonderful company, do you have other agents that do open houses?
Yep, I do.
Can you teach them to ask them to actually sell the darn house?
I absolutely can.
Because it's such a simple question, isn't it, John?
No,
And the
makes
answer is, yes, we'd like to buy it. Then we're good to go. No, it doesn't fit our needs. Tell me, what are you looking for? Because now the Thompsons aren't mad at you trying to sell them something else because they heard that Kelly and Steve don't want to buy their house.
sense.
Now it's okay for you to push on something else. You see how we're covering all the bases, John?
Absolutely.
Now, is there a possibility during this wonderful open house that there's a dull period where no one's there?
Inevitably, yeah.
What do you do during that besides get on this thing and look at Instagram? What are you supposed to be doing?
You could be calling some of the neighbors
You
again.
could be or you should be.
Should be.
So, should you have a street list of people that you either didn't talk to or someone you did talk to that there's a little meat on the bone, meaning there might be something in there for you?
Yep.
Could you then call them when Steve and Kelly leave because they don't want to buy it? And the seller's like, oh, I was hoping they would buy it. And then they hear John pick up the phone. Joe Ebert, this is John Gray. You were kind enough to talk to me Tuesday afternoon. I door knocked you at your front door, holding Bob and Mary Thompson's house up for sale. Do you think you'd be able to come by and see what they have? Maybe you can pick your neighbor. Will the seller know they hired the right guy, John?
Absolutely.
But we're really prospecting for a listing, but they don't know it, do they?
They don't know. Yeah.
So when I'm there for 3 hours, I'm either greeting and meeting or I'm on the phone inviting. Is that going to make a much more profitable open house for you?
Much better use of time.
Isn't that what they think they hired, guys? But what do they get? They get somebody who shows up at 1 minute to one, puts a balloon that needs Viagra hanging on it, one open house at the end of the road. Then they sit down on their couch and they're on Instagram the whole time. And then they tell the seller, we only had 2 people show up. I want 30, 40 people to come to the open house. And John, if nobody buys it, what's the seller need to do?
Lower their price.
But I can't tell them to lower the price when we only had 2 people show up, can I?
Correct. No, you can't.
And what confidence does the seller have in our marketing, John, when only 2 people show up?
Very little.
So why would they reduce the price? You don't know what the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you only put up 2 signs, no one's going to show up. If you take an open house that's priced too high, no one's going to show up. See, it's all part of a package, isn't it, John? And then you got that wonderful list of people. Don't call from inside the house because they didn't want to buy it when they're there. They're probably not wanting to buy it. You're going to work them right after the open house, but you got to leave the premises. Yes?
Correct.
And let me tell you, I leave at 2 minutes after 4. And I take my stuff down off the front, go off the front. I'll take it off at the end of the street, but I'll leave it up on all the other streets till tonight or tomorrow morning. And then I text the seller, had a wonderful open house. We had 15 to 18 people show up. I'm going to spend the evening trying to follow up to see if I can get an offer out of somebody. Some of them with agents, some are not. We'll give you a full update on Monday afternoon because I'm going home to my family and I don't want to spend an hour on the phone talking about every single showing with the homeowner. I already spent 3 hours of my butt at their house on a Sunday. I didn't play golf and I didn't go fishing. So, John, if you do this, do you see getting a lot more business in these neighborhoods?
I absolutely do.
Let's open it up to question. Oh, one more thing. Coach, a wonderful guy in California. He drops 500 large on an ice cream truck in family neighborhoods. So when he does the calling, he tells everybody it's free ice cream, 1 per person for the first visitors. So the kids are out having ice cream while their parents are showing the property. It gets a lot more people there. Doesn't sell any more houses because if it's priced wrong, it ain't going to sell. If it's priced right, it is going to sell. But he gets a lot of parents thanking him and he adds them to his sphere for $500. And he wipes out the truck. And there's always people that show up. Can I get 12? No, 1 per person. We want to make sure we're fair. Oh, I have 7 kids at home. Can I have 7? It's just life. People are like that. Okay, so let's open up the questions about this weird product called an open house, which should be antiquated. But if we use these techniques, it really makes us a ton of money. Questions on this? Got it all figured out?
I get a question for you, Steve.
Hey, Chris.
Just yes, hey, Steve. So you don't put a open house sign or any indication of the actual house that's open? Like you put out all the signs in the morning, so some people are like, "Oh, there's an open house right now." They're driving around trying to find it, but
You're fine. I do. The house has, oh, excuse me. If it's a post sign, those wooden ones you can hang a Jesus on. I put up open Sunday 1 to 4. Okay. We have open house signs that says open 1 to 4, and then we put up our flags. So they drive by, they see it's held open 1 to 4. We do put those up earlier, Chris. We don't want to hide the open house. I don't put the stuff in the front of the house till I'm there at 12:30, other than open Sunday 1 to 4, because I don't want them coming and knocking on the seller's door at 10:30. And they will if they really want the house. Although maybe I do want them to do that. And then if I sell it at 10:30, I don't have to go. I'm kidding.
And is this strategy more supplemental, or is it rather than prospecting, or?
Oh, it's an addition to it. It's not supplemental. It's Chris, I want you to think about this, because what personality style are you?
Analytical.
And I know that. That's why I wanted the whole group to hear it. If you put up 40 signs every Sunday in different neighborhoods, within 3 months, are you the only realtor in town?
To maybe to some, if I brand myself well enough.
Well, you're not the open house realtor. What I mean by that is every Sunday, wherever they travel, I put the open house signs 3 miles away. If the main road is 3 miles away and it's a highway, I don't give a crap. They're not going to come to open house. I get my name on that main road for a whole day Sunday. I get free marketing. So Chris, you do this within 90 days. If you held them open 2 times a month, within 90 days, everybody in your town knows who you are, because everywhere they go, they see your name, don't they?
Right.
And then additionally, if it's a good house and you're door knocking and you're calling, do you have cred in that neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
So now we can increase our sphere. And I'll put this on there. There's 4 reasons for door knocking: a now appointment, a future appointment, getting a referral, and adding people to my sphere. So every time I knock on the door, can I make an appointment today? Can I get an appointment next month? Can I get a referral from you up and down the street? Can I add you to my sphere for a variety of great reasons? So it's just prospecting, Chris, but I'm using the open house as my reason for being there. And because in this snotty ass neighborhood, the neighbor hired me, I have cred in that whole neighborhood. You should hire me as well. And then if I have it sold in 14 days, can I call everybody I met at the open house, everyone I door knocked, I collected the number? You hear me, John? Can I call all those people and give them full credit for the sale, John? So Chris, I'm going to put John back on the spot. Are you ready, John?
I'm all yours, Steve.
Dude, I like you a lot. Can I give my cell number?
Sure.
757.
Yep.
See, the great thing about Zoom, he actually has to write it down. See, if we were phone calling, yeah, go ahead. But on Zoom, he actually has to write it down. 757-719-4329.
Thanks, Steve.
I love independent brokers. Call me sometime. So, John, you sold the house, the Thompson's house, 7 days after the open house. You door knocked my house, Steve Powers. That's my name on there. Okay. So call me and tell me you sold the house, but give me full credit. Ring, ring, ring. Hello.
Hey, hi, Steve. It's John Gray with Jay Barrett and Company. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, John, right?
Yeah, it is John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really wanted to thank you for helping me get the Thompson's home sold. They're so excited.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, no, you introduced me to a couple of great people in the neighborhood, and one of those couples ended up buying the home. So I guess I should ask, can I help you sell your home or help you buy something?
Again, a B+ job, John. Great job. Too many eyes in there. I just wanted to call. I wanted to thank you helping me get the house sold. You made it about you. And then you asked it with a yes, no question at the end. Can I help you with your house? And that's a yes, no. And the answer is always going to be
No.
So John, just tweak a little bit. Hi, John Gray, Steve Powers, eXp Real Estate. How are you?
I'm great, Steve. How are you?
Thanks to you, having a great day. John, you were kind enough to talk last week about the house for the Thompsons over in Glendale. And because of you and neighbors like you, the Thompsons received 3 offers with our marketing and your effort, and they sold the house for over full price. So thank you so much for helping. Say,
Well,
I didn't do anything. Well, expressives will go, oh, I'm really glad I helped. But most people say, I didn't do anything. The expressives will take full credit. Well, it's what I do. But most people will say, I didn't do anything. So say, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't really do anything, Steve.
You know, John, you did everything. Your house is in perfect condition, yes?
I think so. Yeah.
When people drive by your beautiful house, they don't see a jet ski all torn in the front yard. The fence isn't leaning over. You don't have a camper burned out with flat tires. So because of you and neighbors like you, when people drive by your house, they want to move here, don't they?
Well, I hope so. I really like the neighborhood.
Well, people like you is the reason that houses like the Thompsons sell. So now that you know we were able to get the Thompsons 3 offers in 14 days, how can we help you with your real estate needs in 2024? See, guys, now after the open house, after it sells, we can then circle back because now we have cred. Not only do we get hired, we have what hanging in front of their house, Johnny?
Sold sign.
And now we can call all over again because now we need another house and we got cred. It's wash, rinse, repeat. We're using the open house as the catalyst to prospect. Now, if it's a POS house piece of, we're not going to hold it open. If it's way overpriced, we're not going to hold it open. And understand this, the sellers who price it way too high are the first ones who demand an open house, don't they, John? Because they think an open house will expose how great their house is, but really what it exposes is overpriced, yeah? So, John, when you have a seller who's way overpriced and he wants an open house, what do you have to tell him?
Lower the price and I'll do it.
The answer is you have to tell him no. Right?
Yep.
And John, if you need any coaching on the word no, my wife holds a class every other Friday night. Give her a call. She'll teach you how to do it. Because this is our job, guys. We are trading our life for money. We are trading our life for money. If we're going to put our butt in somebody's house for 3 hours on a Sunday, if we're going to give up time with our family, time away from anything, we are darn sure going to make it the most effective use of our time. Does that make sense? My name is Steve Powers. I'm with Watson Powers Coaching. This is what we do. We teach people how to do everything in real estate. We have joined with Phone Warriors. So our coaching is not cheap, but it's well worth it. But we do the training now for Phone Warriors. If you want information about that, give me a call. It's $1.99. You get 8 calls a month. Very low cost. It's training, and we'll teach everything from schedule to showing houses to how to get a buyer to write a contract to how to introduce yourself at an open house. And so for $1.99, you're going to get me and Gordon twice a week. For 15 to 20 minutes is probably really good money spent. So go to watsonpowers.com. It's available on there. If you have any questions, give me a call. As Kelly knows, I'm always available and I work all the time. Right, Joe Ebert? Joe Ebert's one of my great clients and he has made my son so happy. Joe was kind enough to allow my son to use his tickets at the Daytona 500.
Nice.
And my son is in his travel trailer in the middle of the park at Daytona 500 for the race this weekend. And I get 3 or 4 wonderful videos a day. Couldn't be happier. So thank you, Joe, for that.
Very welcome.
All right, guys, let's go to work. Let's make some new clients happy and let's go get some new clients in our sphere. Have a great day.